Hello. Testing. Testing. Let's see here. I am currently. Oh, there we go. Let's see how I hear. How I sound. Okay. Seems good. I am doing a. I'm broadcasting to both Twitch and to YouTube at the same time. So, kind of an interesting experience doing to both, just in case people like one or the other. So yeah, we'll give this a try. Audio sounds good. Everything looks good. So yeah, we are focusing on the main story quest. We got through Hawk Manor on Sunday night. Off stream, I played a bit and I knocked out some side quests, unlocked the golden saucer, did some light retainer stuff. I'm trying to think of what else. Did some paladin quests, just unlocked some abilities, and yeah, that's more or less it. Unlocked Cutter's Cry. We do need to unlock Zamel Darkhold, or we need to run Zamel Darkhold once, but it is unlocked. We need to run Karn, Temple of Karn once. But yeah, good stuff. No, we're level 47. Now on the bright side, at level 50. So tonight, it's gonna happen tonight. We unlock Red Mage, and we will get to have our second class, which will be a little bit nice because I love Red Mage. Red Mage is a lot of fun to play, and we'll continue playing it into Dawntrail. It's going to be our caster DPS going into Dawntrail, so I'm excited for that. A little less excited for Astrologian. So Astrologian is going to be our healer. We cannot unlock Astrologian until we get to Ishgard. So we have to get to Heavensward, which means we have to finish the MSQ for ARR, which isn't too bad. We could probably, I would say it's very likely that we will get to the end of ARR this week, if not tomorrow, because I do plan to stream tomorrow and Friday. The problem is the post-ARR quest line, which is a slog, to say the least. It's delightful. The story elements are important. But it's just a slog. It was like 5 patches, and each patch takes about 3 hours to get through. So it's like 15 to 16 hours of content. Especially when you consider that I'm going to be reading all of the text, which takes a little longer than reading it in my head would be. I'm a pretty fast reader in my head, but obviously when you add inflection and pauses and things of that nature, a little bit of a different story when you say it out loud. And then the dungeons and all that. Now, there is also a swath of optional Realm Reborn content. I am not currently planning on knocking that stuff out on the main stream nights, but if anybody requests it, or if it's something that they want to see, I have no problem running it, unlocking that content, doing things like just all of the optional hard modes, all of the Earth's font, which the Odin fight, yeah, just like a bunch of stuff like that. So we'll Zodiac weapon. I would love to get the Paladin Zodiac. I would love it. It's one of my to this day, it's one of my favorite models in the entire game, and it is 30 to 40 hours of content, and it's boring content. If I was a full-time streamer, then yeah, sure, I would stream this 8 hours a day and work on it, but yeah, just not something it's worthwhile to do. We might go back and do it if we end up making really good progress on the MSQ. We'll need to fill time before Dawntrail. But we have a lot of content to get through. We have all of the rest of ARR, then we have Heaven's Word, post Heaven's Word, Stormblood, post Stormblood, Shadowbringers, post Shadowbringers, Endwalker, and post Endwalker. We have all of that content to do before Dawntrail releases. So, and that's assuming we just focus on the main story quest. That's assuming we don't touch optional content. We don't do any chocobo racing. We don't do any triple triad. We don't do anything. So, yeah. Oh my god. Okay. Dry throat. You'll have to forgive me. I haven't been feeling super well. I just broke the headache and fever that I had. My throat's been fine, but I also haven't been talking for the last couple of days. I took some time off of work to feel better. And now I'm realizing, now that I'm actually talking, my throat is kind of acting up. So we will see how that goes. That being said, I do plan to talk stuff. So let's go and yeah, let's do this. So we need to turn in our quest for Hawk Manor, which is in Lancer's Guild. Closest. I did upgrade my gear quite a bit. We ran through Hawk Manor last night with our gear a little bit out of date, and it was a little bit painful, but we will not have that issue moving forward. Our gear is pretty good. You are returned. What sights awaited you within the manor? What has become of Lady Amandine? You must tell me all. So she went so far as to consort with devils. Would that I could have done more to prevent her fall. May she finally find peace in the Via. I know not whether the masked man you encountered are the same pair that first led my lady astray, but it is plain that they are of the same vile brood. Should the chance ever present itself, promise me that you will visit upon them tenfold the woe they have brought upon others. But who am I to speak of punishment? By my silence, I allowed I know not how many innocent young women to die in unspeakable circumstances. It matters not wherefore, through misplaced loyalty, cowardice, or both, I am an abettor to a gross crime. I will surrender myself to the authorities and accept whatever punishment they deem just. I only pray that the gods will have mercy on my soul. Okay, are you gonna get hop to chop chop? You are responsible, so get out of here. Okay, so pray return to the Waking Sands. Ooh. Yeah, I guess since I'm higher level, I can unlock these. Yep. Orm Vale, not a fan. Yeah, Wandering Palace. So again, those are optional endgame dungeons. We will be skipping. If we ever do the Zodiac weapons, though, we may need them to, especially Orm Vale. I know that's a popular one to run. Welcome back, Myth. Full glad am I to see you safely returned. Tell me, how fared you on your sojourn to this world? Two of Labre's minions, and they sought to measure your strength by their own admission. The devils taunt us. It is beyond doubt, then. The Ascians have begun to move in earnest. Would that we knew to what end. Yet I will not bemoan our plight. Thanks to your tireless efforts, we are at least aware of the encroaching darkness. Alas, we can only do so much. It is clear to me now that we Scions are too few to protect the realm against this threat unaided. We must needs alert the three nations to the presence of this elusive enemy, and recommend that they heighten their vigil. There's no shortage of misery in the world that the Ascians might exploit. We have an arduous struggle ahead of us. Yet come what may, we must not allow ourselves to become lost to hope, for that is precisely what the enemy desires. We have gleaned all we can from the information available to us. Let us set this investigation aside for the present. Another matter has arisen that requires your attention. Let me know when you're ready to be briefed, and I will summon the others. Alright. We do not need any of this gear that they're going to be giving us. Skeletons. Are we getting a title for that? Skeletons in the closet. I don't think we did. I'm going to change our title to Gambler for now. Titan. Alright, so it's the name of the stream. Let's go. Let's work on Titan. This is another kind of a lull in the story. But we get to do Brave Fox's long stuff, which is one of my favorite dungeons. So there's pluses and minuses to it.
The Maelstrom requests our assistance.
Concerning the kobolds they sent such copious notes on, I presume?
Yes. And no. It has more to do with their findings, which portend a peril far greater than any beast tribe.
What sort of peril?
The worst kind. A tribe of kobolds in the vicinity of Limsa Lominsa has reawakened Titan. Our task will be to slay the Primal. The Maelstrom have sworn support for the endeavor. They are no strangers to the havoc kobolds can wreak.
Years before the Grand Company's reformation, two primals, Leviathan and Titan, chanced to converge upon the seawall, wreaking untold devastation. There, by the grace of the Navigator, were the mercenaries Merlvip hired able to fend them off. Yet it did not take long for the beast tribes to regroup, and they summoned their primals once more.
Thankfully, their second coming was decidedly short-lived, but that is beside the point. So long as tormented souls will them to exist, the realm will never be rid of primals.
The Maelstrom has kept a watchful eye upon the beast tribes, and the kobolds in particular, ever since. Which brings us to the matter at hand.
Unlike Ifrit, we know scarcely anything of Titan. Unfortunately, the only force known to have bested him, the modestly named Company of Heroes, disbanded 5 years since, and mercenaries are not in the habit of keeping chronicles.
Expect the worst. The Maelstrom's help is of course appreciated, but even if we had their whole armada at our disposal, we could still find ourselves overmatched. A pity the kobolds lack the gentle sensibilities of the sylphs. A peaceful resolution would be more than welcome. The echo will not avail you this time, I fear. If you are to survive, your steel must needs speak for you. No one would think you a coward were you to decline.
So you will accept? Thank you.
We can't very well send her to Limsa Lominsa without Y'shtola, can we, Minfilia?
May I ask that of you, Y'shtola?
I never thought it in question.
Ever reliable. Very well. We will spare no effort to win victory. You may count on the full support of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. And all not afield will aid the fight from afar. Thancred, Ida, go to the Grand Companies, tell them of our plight and solicit their support. Urianger, send word to the students of Baldessian, and Alfino if you would. Papalimo, compile all the information we have on Titan, little though it may be.
Okay, let's go.
You will be apprised of the tactical situation when you reach the Sailor's Ward. Provision yourself for the journey. May you walk in the light of the crystal.
Time to research and then get Titan's ass. I actually kind of mourn the Titan because he was a really fun fight at launch, especially his hard mode and his extreme mode versions. Now people just spank him, which is by design. I mean, you don't want players to be locked out of completing the main story quest. Okay, things change. No matter one's past transgressions, all who have seen the dream are welcome, even men such as we. I have heard offers such as these before. All were not more than bait for the hangman's noose. There's Noraxia. This one has finally figured out a way to make walking ones be quiet. What does friendly one think? This one is very convincing, yes? I never knew that they could take the form of humans, and then Noraxia did, because I never came and talked to Noraxia here like this. What? That's insane. 10 years later, I'm still learning new things. Ida's on her way to Gridania to request the aid of the Order of the Twin Adder. In the meantime, we must learn all we can of the Primal Titan. Literature may yield us the odd morsel of useful information, but there's no surer way than to seek the former members of the company. Yeah, we're gonna have fun chasing them. With this many people here, we need a culinarian of our own. We can't subsist on rations and preserved foodstuffs forever. Myth, have you heard? I've been chosen to serve as Noraxia's bodyguard. There have been increasing reports of Imperial activity in Thamar, so that Antecedent insists that our guests be escorted whenever venturing outside. I know that I know how hard you of all people work to endear us to the sylphs. I swear to you that I will guard our honored guests with my life and not allow your effort to come to naught. Go on. Guarding Noraxia is a prestigious duty indeed. Our involved is right to be excited. But he has never crossed swords with a Garland before. I worry what will happen if he is forced to confront his father's country. I think Ali is the Elizan from the original Final Fantasy XIV trailer. I could be wrong. Congratulate the boy, Myth, chosen by the Antecedent as the Sylph's bodyguard. What an honor. Clive, I'm told you're one of our finest, Myth. I suspect we'll see much more of each other in the future. We definitely will. As the primals fall, so do our spirits soar. Though mine aid be modest, I nonetheless am heartened in my duties. The Urianger plays such a small, quiet role during all of these quests. It is not until much later that he starts playing a bigger role. I don't want to believe that Master Garland is dead, but the chief wasn't the type to cut and run off. He would have gone to Carton now. He would have been there when Dalamud fell, which means if there's anything we could do to help, no matter how small, just ask. Broken carriage axle, cracked barrel, hell's even a leaky bucket. Say the word and we'll fix it. Oh, the bigs and wedge. And then looks like the antecedents found herself a good crop of aspiring heroes. I reckon Ersley will be alright as long as there's fine folk around her are around to protect her. I'm so glad I made the decision on this playthrough to go and talk to all these NPCs. Because it does add a lot. Suppose you're wondering just how many shifts there are. I try not to concern myself with what transpires within. Okay, you two don't say anything. Okay. Time to go to Limsa Luminsa in Lenosia. Oh Lord, they're still doing it. It's unbelievable. I don't know why. I'm assuming it's got to be one person. Some really rich person who has a lot of money. Yeah, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. I don't know if I counted him, maybe 23. So 23 of the light green naked boys. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. 26, it looks like. Dapper. Tuxedo gentleman. That's what, 49 or 50? I'm going to assume it's 50. 50 accounts that are all logged in on their own computer, or at least multi-boxing. They've been here. They were all in these exact same positions on Sunday. They're all... Look also, summoner. Like, these are level 37, level 37, level 39, level 54. Like, this is not an, like, they went and did all of their quests. It's really, really impressive. The amount of time that was spent on this. I have no idea why or what's going on. Anyways. Final Fantasy 14 is a magical time. A fun game. Alright, we are going to upstairs and the aft house. Hello, adventurer, and welcome to Maelstrom Command. If you wish to know more about enlisting, please speak to a personnel officer. Unless you are the guest we were told to expect. Forgive me, man. Business then. It is as we told the Anticipate. The kobolds have once again summoned Titan. A little over a moon ago, we began to observe the beastmen moving south in increasing numbers from Ogumor. Our scouts subsequently confirmed the object of their aggression. Crystals, fodder for their fell pride. Thank you, High Commander. You may leave the rest to me. Word is spread of your accomplishments, Myth. On behalf of Limsa Lominsa, I thank you for heeding our call. Forgive the lack of forwarding, High Commander. The Admiral wished to address Myth personally. We are no strangers to conflict. Long have the Sahagin and the kobolds plagued our people, nor is this the first time we have had to address the primate threat. In the past, when Titan rose to threaten the peace, it was the company of heroes returned. But they are long disbanded, and we must look to other brave souls blessed with the strength to face this fight. So it is that we turn now to the signs of the seventh dawn, confident in the belief that you are Limsa's best hope. I hope you're right, yet the situation is far from simple. The kobolds are not prone to unprovoked aggression. Did not the oh my god. It's like thalassophobia. Thalassocracy. So like democracy. Thalassocracy. Ugh. Make a pact with the beastmen that each would keep to their own lands and that no blood would be shed. And was it not the Laminsons who violated this agreement, dissatisfied with their lot? Shall we then condemn the beastmen for defending their homes? Even a pirate must one day reap what she has sown. I mean, they're not wrong. The beastmen, yeah, they're out there. What is the quote? They're out of pocket, but they're right. Or they're out of line. You're out of line, but he's right. I would advise you to choose your words with greater care, Lady Ishtar. Stand down, High Commander. She has the right. And the wrong is mine. Freely do I claim, yet it makes little difference. Remorse will not shield us from Titan's wrath. Or would you have us fall upon our swords? Very fair. My apologies, Admiral. The safety and security of Limsa Lominsa's citizenry are, of course, of paramount concern. Alrighty. We have observed disruptions in the flow of ether further inland. The effects will be felt here in the city ere long. I ask much of you, I know, but the need is great. Can I count on your help, Myth? You have my thanks. Along with the full support of the Maelstrom, I await good tidings. That the kobolds should summon Titan demonstrates they are no longer amenable to negotiate. This being the case, we must needs prepare for conflict. Before we meet Titan in the field, however, it would be wise to learn all we can of our foe. And I can think of no better source of information than the mercenaries who defeated him once before. The Company of Heroes may be no more, but several of its former members still live. It is said that one of them is employed at the Grey Fleet Mills in Lower Lenosia. Quite why a missionary would choose to become a miller, I do not know. When you find him, mayhap you could ask him for me. I, meanwhile, shall seek his fellows. So we get to go after the crazy guy in the leopard print bikini. Actually, while we're here, I need to do this quest. I forgot that this is an event book. We're just gonna quickly knock this out just so that way we get it. It's the New Year event. Get that little chocobo, buddy. I've seen people with him. That sage here looks cool. Oh, and he's got a little train. He's got a little bantam train. I know want to unlock warrior too, but we're not going to do that. We're going to resist the urge. Talk to the NPCs. Okay. Oh no. Okay, I was worried we wouldn't be able to jump out of the river. Let's get our little minion. Some of these seasonal quests are more fun than others, but usually they are very short. And they just give you some fun stuff, and it's a fun way to celebrate, you know, the different holidays. My favorite ones are always Halloween. I actually didn't do the one this year, but last year, this past year, the year before, they had a huge haunted house set up. It was amazing. Oh, we're actually... You guys coming with? Okay. Okay. I thought it was already over. So this is a new mechanic they added in Endwalker, I believe. May have been in Shadowbringers or like an early version of it, but the official, like they follow you around, you talk to people sort of thing was like a big deal in Endwalker, which I really like. It was one of the big improvements that Endwalker made for storytelling. Just going to make Dawntrail even stronger. Oh god, I can't wait for the graphics update with Dawntrail. I think it looks really good. And then, of course, other updates as well. They always find little ways to do things better. And considering Endwalker, for as incredible as it was so impacted by COVID. So it was a little content light, which is fine. Worked for me. Gave me plenty of time to play other games. Which even Yoshi P has gone as far as saying. He says he prefers that people feel comfortable playing other games. You don't have to keep playing the same game every day. There's a lot of really good games out there. And so it's really refreshing when a game kind of trusts you. It respects your time, and it tries to make the most of your time while it has it. So obviously, yeah, if you want to keep playing and you want to unlock all of your different relic weapons and level all the classes and, you know, farm for a house and do all that stuff, like, this game definitely has content for you. We're still getting regular patches every 3 or 4 months with new content, but the new content is usually able to be done within a few hours or so. And then unless, like, if you're raiding, I mean, well, if you're raiding, especially ultimates, I mean, Joe Cat just did his video. It took him almost a year to do Omega Protocol Ultimate, and it's months of playing. So I mean, there's plenty of content, but at the same time, if you aren't doing that, you shouldn't feel bad about not playing the game. And also, this is possibly my favorite game of all time. I adore this game. It can do nothing wrong. I love this game so much. But that being said, I don't come back for every patch. I usually take 3 or 4 patches off in a row. Come back, kind of like what I'm doing here, and play it in a spurt. I like giving it a couple months of my time. And then the only time I play for an extended period is usually at expansion launch. All right. I mean, I love him. He is my squishy. Look at him. He's a little dragon chocobo. He's a cute boy. Can we do group? Will he show in my group post? Oh, he will. Oh, yes. I get a screenshot now. Post that on the Discord. Hopefully that doesn't mess up anything. There we go. All right. Well, now that we got this delightful little boy, let's go. So, honestly, the quickest way is actually not to teleport to that zone, because Marabi is way down here, where we can just do Tempest. Still a bit of a jaunt. It's not too. In hindsight, I wonder if going to Costa del Sol and then going south would be faster. I don't think I have the improved movement speed, so I don't think that would work. I think we're fine with this, because we've got the fast mount speed here. We're fine. It's a foggy day here in Lenosha. Oh, look at that warrior. Love warrior so much. We're going to make paladin hat. We're not going to switch to warrior just because I like it. Okay. He's inside of heart. Yeah. Lay down your burden, son. Come drain a pint with me. We'll have a grand old time. Find you a lass or three. Gonna say something, adventurer, or just keep staring? Eh? You want to know about the company of heroes? Aw hails. Price of bleeding fame. Can't a miller mill in peace no more? Still, seeing as you come all this way, I suppose it wouldn't hurt to oblige you. Consider yourself lucky, lass. Old Tractoon was the company's best axeman. Now, what is it you wanted to know? I want to know how a guy like you was in the company of heroes, and also, does everybody do their milling work in Daisy Duke cut off denim pantalettes? Yeah. So, you want to hear a tale of how the company of heroes bested a primal, do you? Let me guess. You mean that bastard Titus, eh? Good reference, Final Fantasy X reference. Oh, if only you'd been there to see it. 'Twas a mighty struggle like the legends of old. Me and the boys fought him for 3 days and nights, we did. The ground trembled with every step Titus took. And when he hit you, girl, it felt like a cannonball to the gut. Ugh, just like that. Boy, what that look for? I'm a goddamn hero, I'll have you know. The people around here sing me praises. Don't tell me you only care about learning the secret tactics we used to beat old Titus. Well, too bad, because now I'm not feeling charitable. You're so damn desperate, and why don't you do me a favor? Kill those rats that have made nests by the windmill just south of here. Do that and we'll talk. So this is good because it's main story quest filler. It's just that we needed to fill some time, so that's what we're doing here, right? You gotta. It's not a main story quest if you don't have to go kill a couple of enemies, and it's always just like, yeah, go kill 3 enemies and come right back, right? But in this case, it's solidified in this very goofy NPC. There's a reason he himself cannot or does not want to do this. And that is because he is a giant piece of shit. Oh, it's the Rat King. Tractoon. He doesn't even know how to say. Like, if you're gonna lie about being in the company of heroes, get the name right. Again, though, I do really appreciate taking the opportunity to use Titus instead of Titan. So the beasties are dead, are they? Nice work, adventurer. Saved me the hassle of... Oh, never mind. Yeah, see. That was going to be his job to do. What? You're still asking about how we beat Titus? I don't know, venture. It was a pretty risky strategy, the kind only a veteran of 10 score battles could rely upon. I want to teach you. I truly do. But unless you prove you have what it takes to face that fat bastard, I can't in good conscience tell you a damn thing. At the very least, you'd need to be capable of slaying, say, a Gabu. A Gubu. Come to think of it, that ain't a bad idea. Them creatures have a taste for the flour milled here, so you ought to have no trouble finding one in the vicinity. Of course, I ain't asking you to cut one down quick as a squilled axeman like himself. Any road, why don't you try heading due west and stand on the lookout in case a Gubu comes calling. slay it. And I might consider telling you more about the old Titus. Alright, we'll do more of your farm work for you. This is just a part of what is a kind of obnoxious number of filler quests. This is definitely the anime filler arc between this and the ceremony that we put on in Costa del Sol. But then things pick up. And it's more or less a roller coaster all the way until post AR after this. So. Hey, you again. Then that Gooboo that was harassing the Millers is dead? Didn't think you had it in you, adventure. Still, you took forever and a day to get the job done. I'm not sure if I can tell you our secrets. Oh, Y'shtola's here. I need to talk to Y'shtola. I need to see what her... The Company of Heroes is the most celebrated mercenary band in the history of Eorzea. Even so, I must admit I've never before met one of their members face to face. I imagined a warrior who would topple both Titan and Leviathan would seek to bask in a lifetime of fame and glory. Yet, he seems to have settled in a place distinctly bereft of adoring crowds. Yeah, you're pretty smart there, Y'shtola. So, as I was saying, I still don't know if you got what it takes to face Titus. Maybe if you slew her. Tractoon? You in here drinking again? If you are, that Gooboo had better be dead. Oh, it's dead, Chief. You have my word on that. Cleave the beast's skull in two with my trusty axe, I did. Is that a fact? Well, what will your friend here say if I ask her? She'll vouch for me, of course. Ain't that right, friend? Tell me true. Was it Tractoon who slew that Gooboo, or was it you? Chief, what are you saying? It's me, Tractoon, the finest axeman ever to serve in the Company of Heroes. The legendary mercenaries who slew that bastard Titus. Titus? Who in the seven hells is Titus? Some primal you fought in a drink-sodden dream? The Company of Heroes slew Titan, you bloody half-wit. Well, you see, Titus was what me and the lads used to call him. That's the biggest load of Sahajin shit I've ever heard. Both of you, outside. We'll learn the truth of laments in life. Tractoon, if you didn't slay the Gooboo, you may consider your contract revoked. I love that. That still shot. It's so good. Oh, we can play triple triad with Tractoon? Ha! You got guts to challenge Tractoon, undisputed champion of the swimmers pool. Alas, I'm busy right now, the price of fame and all that. But if you come back later, I'll give you a match with minstrels and singing. I didn't know that we could play against them. That's great. They call me a working man. I reckon that's what I am. Drinking under the chief's nose, sneaking out the back door, and nobody'll ever know. That doesn't rhyme, Tractoon. Okay, same line. Got the same. All right, let's have our fun little. We're gonna have a little fight with Tractoon here. All right, you know the rules. First one to smash their boulder will be judged the Gooboo Slayer. They don't even think about trying to kill me. That's cheating. Who picked these boulders? There's nothing alike. How the hell's with that? Let the contest begin. Oh, you sweet summer child. Look behind you. A three-headed Gooboo. Oh, what are you doing? Oh, you paralyzed me? you doing, last feeling a bit stiff by any chance? Only killing's against the rules. You're still at it. Bugger me, just look, I got one of these. Oh, yeah, I can destroy this really quick. And what? Arms. The bleeding arms. I mean, in hindsight, this is a delightful question. It's all filler, but it's still delightful. All right. I admit it. I lied about being in the company of heroes. But I'm begging you, Chief, please don't dismiss me. I've learned my lesson. Honest, I have. Save your blubbering track to him. Should have known. Mercy, please. I didn't want to deceive you, I swear. It's just that I keep getting turned away by all the folk I asked for work, and I panic. See, the last job I had was at Costa del Sol, and there was this grizzled marauder everybody treated like royal. When I heard he was a captain in the company of heroes, I finally understood why. I wasn't being serious when I said I was one of them, but you wouldn't believe me, so Look, his name's Waistcoat, all right? Waistcoat. He'll tell you how to defeat Titus, or whatever the hell that thing's name is. That's what you wanted, ain't it? So come on then. Tell the chief to forgive me. It's only fair. I mean, who's never lied on a resume before? I mean, he worked with Waistcoat, who is in the company of heroes. He was a hero. So technically, Praktum was in the company of a hero. So he wasn't really lying. It's like a white lie. Still won't let me do it? All right. I'm just gonna. I'm too slow. I need to renew my choker greens. There you are, Fabula. You're a good girl. You're a good girl. Yeah, you're a good girl. Yes, you are. Pardon? You wish to slay the Lord of Crags? We must slay him, Captain. The people of Limsa are depending upon us. You fancy yourselves heroes, then, just like in the tales? Be not so quick to judge. Long have I labored for the well-being of you and yours, and my associate here is bathed in Ifrit's hellfire and live. She's blessed with a power that protects her from primal influence. Thus was she able to lay low the Lord of the Inferno. We know full well the risks, and have taken every possible precaution. We lack only the knowledge of how to enter Titan's lair. Pray be so good as to grant us the boon of your wisdom, and we shall be on our way. A woman who can't be tempered. Useful, but it will not be enough. It is true that the company of heroes fought in felled primes, but each victory was brought with the lifeblood of brave men and women. And Titan was the worst we faced. We defeated him in the end, but he took from us some of our very best. Even if you possess the power you claim, I have no reason to believe you will succeed. Believe what you will. We mean to try. Though our lives be forfeit, We will not abandon Limsa to the wrath of Titan. You are passionate, I'll grant you that. And you deserve better than the greeting I gave you. But I will not send you to Ogamoro on a whim. Be plain, I do not wish to see you give your lives in vain. At the very least, I must have assurances that you are more than common adventurers. I oversee security for Master Gegaruju's estates. Perhaps you can demonstrate your abilities by attending to one of our... Oh, ye gods, man, have you heard nothing I've said? We have not the time to perform trivial tasks. The enemy is at the gates. Do you imagine words can sway me, girl? If you dislike my conditions, then you are welcome to find your own way into Ogamoro. Though it pains me to admit it, I fear we have no choice but to acquiesce to the man's demands. Yet much remains to be done if we are to best Titan. Forgive me, but I must ask you to undertake this task alone. I will use the time to see to the remaining preparation. Leaving the dirty work to others, are we? Very well. Pray do whatever the good captain bids, however trifling. Remember, the fate of Limsa hangs in the balance. The Limsa. Alright, Waistcut. Master Gegaruju's requests can be more demanding than you realize. Before I set you to your true task, I would like to verify that this won't be a waste of my time. A Nyx has recently been prowling the beach to the east. As you can imagine, my master does not want large creatures anywhere near his lands. The beast is cunning. You should have no difficulty luring it out with a hair. Slay the Nyx and return to me. Oh, and don't forget to bring me a leg as proof of the kill. Easy peasy, lemon squeeze. Let's go. Five gigantic skins. Look at us. Well, did you deal with the Nyx? Lest you think me overly cautious for testing in this way, you should know that we had an incident not long ago. A foolish young employee was dismissed for lying about his past. He claimed to have served in the company of heroes. I knew for a fact he did not. Anyway, now that the pointless busy work is finished, I shall give you a challenge as befits your talents. I like that. Confirming it. Again, it's filler quest, but by confirming track tomb, making sure that I can actually do the work. Two highly distinguished individuals are scheduled to visit Costa del Sol in the near future. Master Gegaruju wishes to welcome them with an elaborate banquet. But while money is no object, not everything Master Gegaruju desires can be so easily purchased. It is to be an extremely exotic feast, and so Myth, your mission is to seek out and obtain the rare ingredients our chef requires. Naturally, such fine dining must be accompanied with suitable wine, and by suitable, I mean the very best there is. That, however, can wait for the time being, as I believe you have enough on your plate as it is. It will be a long and arduous journey, but you will need not toil alone. Many of the mercenaries who once served under my command still live, and they will guide you in your quest. For the first ingredient, I would have you travel to the South Shroud and speak with Landon, Landino at Cape Tranquil. What? Did you mean to tell me you cannot afford to waste time as your associate did? Adventurer, if you have not the endurance to complete this mission, how do you expect me to believe you can outlast the Lord of Crags? Either do it or don't. I have work to do. Alright. Luckily, we're just gonna teleport. Teleport around. Oh my god, it's already 7:30. Jesus. Time's flying. You require assistance, adventurer? So this is the one who would challenge Titan. I've been expecting that. The ingredient you seek is the egg of a giant adamantoise. The method of acquisition should be obvious. You steal it from the beast's nest, of course. Simple in theory, but difficult in execution. Most who try die in the attempt. Will I help you in getting it? You amuse me. I will not jeopardize my position by openly assisting you. From me, you will receive only information. What you do with it is your choice. All right. Let me be clear. This business between you, me, and the captain must remain a secret. See, I don't regret my time spent with the company in the slightest. Traveling the world, meeting interesting people, killing them. It was all jolly good fun. Alas, Gridanians are, by and large, an unforgiving. I'm Gridanian. Well, actually, no. Hold on. I forgot about that. Even though I am an Ellison. Ditto here being a rare exception. I've had to go to great lengths to ensure that I am seen as a model citizen, with no taste for drinking, whoring, gambling, and all those other activities I so dearly miss. So understand that if you ruin my little charade by wagging your tongue, I'll fashion a noose with your entrails and hang you from the nearest heavens board. Well, what are you waiting for? There's a perfectly good adamantoise egg in the nest to the east here, just right for the taking. Not that I expect you to live long enough to claim it. The mother never strays far from the child, and you will surely be attacked the moment you lay hands upon the egg. There will be other heroes. You do not need to challenge Titan. Abandon your quest, or your corpse will rot this way. Yeah, I'm about to end this man's whole career. Like I said, let me get these hands on this egg though. Alright, we did it. We did the thing. I thought you may have the good sense to leave this place. By your continued presence, I take it you intend to persevere to the bitter end. And I got an egg. An exceptionally large egg with a seemingly unbreakable shell. When it hatches, the baby adamantoise that emerges will likely be as large as a hat. Such bravery. Such recklessness. Well, that'll serve you well against Titan. Leave the egg with me. I'll see to it that it gets to the captain. You should make haste to Southern Thanaline. In Forgotten Springs, you'll find a man named Ood Noon. He will be your next guide. Safe travels. All right. Next step. We're just doing a world tour. State your business, adventurer. So this is the one-way Skit sends me. I haven't the foggiest what he sees in you, and until I do, you will receive no aid from me. Alright, well fine, jerk. You're being mean to me, but okay. I'm like level 47, my dude. Like, I can do this level 30 quest, I promise. Or assistant bugger. Very well. Let's have a look at you. You've seen your fair share of battle. There's no mistaking that. And you did manage to obtain that adamantoise egg. However, that was not more than a display of brute force. I can't roll my R's. I apologize. Brute force and blind courage. The nun I once fought also believed that his strength would save him. He was wrong, and now I am new. Many years ago, I joined the company of heroes to hone my skills. Instead of challenging my predecessor before I was ready, even when I was young, I understood that victory goes to the patient, the cunning, the pragmatic. That is not why I claim my position, and it is why that is why I claimed my position, and it is why I still hold it, and it is why I will not help in an unproven world. The children of the sand do not offer aid to strangers. To do so is a sign of weakness. However, if you were recognized as a skilled hunter in your own right, it would be permissible to assist you. Across the desert to the east lies an Amalja encampment. There dwells a warrior renowned both for his strength and his guile. To even face this Amalja in battle, you must find a way to lure him away from the encampment. Sorry, guys. This will be your test, to draw out and defeat the veteran. For this, I will offer you no advice, only this worn spear. Why, you ask? You'll have to solve the riddle yourself. Now go slay this old warrior and bring to me his necklace. Yeah. Really back to this game? Sheesh, I can't watch this. I mean, fine, don't. How are you doing, Skia? Hope you're doing. Yeah, I sat through watching you play Star Citizen and a little bit of Cyberpunk before things got kind of ugly there. What else did I watch you play? Other stuff. I'm sure I've done a couple. To be fair, I think you've done a lot more watching me play Final Fantasy games than me watching you play random shit, so. Good to hear that you're doing okay. I'm trying to get through this. Trying to power through this main story before the expansion comes out later this year, so we'll see how that goes. Not gonna lie, this is a great game. That's pretty good. It's probably my favorite game. It's hard to say. You know, your tastes change over time, so it's hard to say what game is the best or your all-time favorite. But I think, like, for most of my life, this has probably been my favorite game. So yeah, I adore it. But I've reached a point where I realize that you can't always, a thing that matters to you, it's hard to get that feeling in other people. It's either they have it or they don't. So I've kind of gotten over the trying to convince people to see or enjoy in it what I like, if they like it. And I know a lot of people like this game, so I know it's not like me. This isn't like a crazy thing that only I like, but it is also one of those things that, like, I don't know, I've been slowly coming to terms with the fact that just, like, I need to play it because I like it, and not because I want my friends to somehow experience the same experience I had with it, because everybody's experience is going to be different. So yeah, you feel that? Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of stuff like that where it's like, man, if I could somehow take this, like, small nugget of how this game made me feel and impart it on somebody else, but you can't. There's no way to get that out. You can talk to them about it, you can tell stories about it, but you know, if they don't play it and experience it their own way and have that same experience, then that's fine too. It's all fine. Can't force it. Tell me, adventurer, is our old nemesis dead? One thing I do want to do, Skia, is I haven't done this since Stormblood, so 2018? 2019? 2018, it would have been like late 2018. I want to raid with the new expansion. And I really enjoy the raiding in this game. I enjoy raiding in general. So that's kind of what my strategy is. I'm just taking it easy. I'm not really streaming. I'm not trying to do like crazy content stuff. I just want to play to get caught up with the new expansion and then raid when the new expansion is out. Stream that. So that's kind of what this is all aimed towards. This is a fine necklace. As befits a veteran of countless battles, it'll make an excellent trophy. The spear? It belonged to one of his brothers. I knew when he spied it from afar, he would be unable to resist venturing outside the encampment to see it for himself. Did you discern my intent, or was it dumb luck, I wonder? Either way, you impress me, adventurer. I shall tell you of the ingredient you seek. I'm glad you're looking forward to that. I just can't put that many spoons into something that is that frustrating. I'm too old. I mean, I feel that. That's a part of the reason that I wasn't raiding, because it is one of those things that, like, if you're going to have, depending on the content you're doing, 1 to 3 nights a week that are devoted to just this extra super hard content with a bunch of strangers online, like, it's hard to, like you said, to allocate the spoons, right? It's hard to commit to it. When it's a lot easier to spend that same time and say, I'm going to play goofy fun games with my friends. I'm going to play DBD, or I'm going to play Fall Guys, or whatever. It's a lot easier. Your Goose Goose Duck nights, right? Like, it's easier to say, well, that's going to be a good time with friends. So if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. So I agree. But there is a part of me, there's an itch that I need to see if I still want to, I do want to scratch it. Obviously, that's why I'm doing this. But you know what I mean? I want to see if that itch is still there, because there is something immensely gratifying to that kind of content. You know, that working for weeks with these people and then overcoming, and like that moment is like really special. So I'm hoping to recapture that. And you know, if I bounce off of it, then it's fine. That's another thing. And I'm sure you know this, is as you get older, there's an almost peace in just acknowledging that, like, it's okay to try something and then say, you know what, it's just not working. I'm going to try something else. Like, it's not like when you're younger and you're like, oh, I got to make this my entire personality, or like, oh, it blew up in my face, or it's not what I expected. Now everything's wrong. It's like, no, it's just like, dip your toes and see what feels right? Yeah, I don't like people enough. I mean, I feel that. I like people. I like people. But I am deeply introverted, so it is one of those things that it drains my battery. And so it's easy to say, oh yeah, let me spend three nights a week, but you get 2 months into that and you're like, have a rough day at work, and you're like, the last thing I want to do is sit on this call with these people. Like, sometimes the introverted part of me just like stops that. So just people over there. I feel you, man. A shame we did not meet when it was still the company of heroes. You would have made a fine recruit. I wish I could roll my R's. But no point dwelling on what cannot be. You'll have a Wellwick worm to hunt. Saint worms slither brazenly across the desert dunes, but Wellwick worms are far fewer in number. Rarity breeds demand, and so their meat is highly prized as a delicacy. The only way to catch your quarry is to entice it with something it cannot resist. These worms prey on smaller creatures of the Sigoli. A freshly slaughtered angler carcass would be my choice of meat. Okay, we gotta go kill an angler and then feed it. The area is teeming with anglers to the east. I'll mark it upon your map along with the location 112. Yep. Be warned, the blood will drive the worm into a feeding frenzy. If your skills are lacking, it'll devour you as well. Do another filler quest here. By the way, I'm testing streaming to YouTube I'm doing a double stream right now, Skia. So I'm doing I'm using Restream, which is a service that basically like takes your stream and like puts it into 2 different places. So, kind of a lot better than like trying to like download my VOD and upload it separately to YouTube. It's pretty cool. Yeah, when Twitch changed their policy on being able to stream to multiple platforms, I thought it was pretty cool. So I'm gonna give it a try. It's not bad, but I did have to pay for a had to pay for their subscription, which I'm not a huge fan of. It's fine. It didn't cost that much. Divert enmity onto another member. Oh, I forgot about that. I set up my bars, but I need to set up. Yes. Is Shirk the last one? Yeah, Shirk. Okay, so we're. Yeah, it's pretty easy to set up. I'm basically streaming to Restream, and then Restream is sending it to Twitch and to YouTube at the same time, which is pretty cool. And then it combines the chat in one. I've got one chat box that's got both chats in it, which is pretty cool. All right, let's fight this one. And then after this, I think it's Memaroon is the next one we go to. And then lastly, Grey Fox. If I remember correctly, it has been 10 years. 9 years. We're just going to teleport. You look well. Have you caught our quarry then? Your skills as a hunter rival those of our best. I applaud your success, man. The meat will need to be heavily smoked before I ship it to Wasteland. Worry not. You have my word that he'll receive it in time for the banquet. You must be eager to obtain the 3rd ingredient. I regret to say that I know not of its location. For the nonce, you should return to Costa del Sol and seek Wesket's counsel. Ah, but hold a moment. Since you will be meeting the captain again soon, there's something I'd like you to deliver to him for. Okay. I'll just give me the gold. Give me the gold. I want the gold. The captain was always fond of this brand wine. I would be grateful if you could deliver it on my behalf. I was reckless, angry youth when I first joined the company, and he would have been well within his rights to cast me out. Everything I have I owe to his wisdom and generosity. Wesket was a firm yet fair teacher and expert molder of men, and I suspect that is still the case now. Please give him my regards. Yep. All right. Skia, I know that you have played this game before, and at one point you even had a house, I believe. How much did you play? Like, what expansion did you get to? If you don't mind me asking. You had 2. 2 houses. Jesus. I've never had one. I've been in a free company that had a house, but I've never had my own. Well met, Myth. Landell and Uod Nun. That name, ugh. Both spoke highly of you. What brings you here today? Ah, my favorite. I shall have to thank the nun personally. 2 medium pots. Nice. Now you have but 1 ingredient left. Fortunately, you will not have to travel to Aldenar this time. Made it to the current expect. Okay. Oh, are we already doing Brayflox? Did they cut out the Memaroon piece? Maybe they did. Truth be told, I never intended for you to collect this last ingredient. Brayflox, my old quartermaster, wished to bring it to Costa del Sol herself. However, not long ago, she sent word that there's been some trouble at the Longstop, and that the delivery would be delayed indefinitely. She told me nothing of the incident herself, itself. But I fear this situation maybe. Though I would like nothing more than to aid her myself, I have no choice but to turn to you and your allies. Make haste to Hidden Falls docks and speak with Ozun Nazun. He will direct you to Raincatcher Gully, where Brave Fox and her people have made their home. I had a guild house and a personal house. I never really did much with them, but I did have fun playing. Yeah, it's a good game. I mean, I mostly like the story, the music, and the like the raids and stuff like that. I don't mind the housing stuff. I think it's cool, but it's just a thing that I just never dipped my toes into. And I know it's like, it's a whole world. It's a whole, you can spend all day long just decorating your house and being a crafter and crafting everything for the house and everything. That's another thing. Like, I think the crafting in this game is phenomenal. I like that you actually use your skills like battle to make the items, but it's just time consuming and just not my bag of tea. The best situation is to have a friend who's really into it. So that way you get a really cool fucking house and you can give them ideas. Then you don't have to spend 24 hours keeping up with it. That's the real plan. What's the hurry, Venture? Something happened over at the Gabi settlement. I don't know why you're so eager to help a bunch of beastmen, but go and talk to the skipper over yonder. Yeah. When I was raiding in Stormblood, when we were doing Omega, we were there was a guy, he was some kid, probably in his early 20s, and just playing all the time. And he was an Omni crafter, so he had all of his crafters maxed out, and he managed the Free Company house. And he was the guy that, like, on raid night, we would show up and he would just hand out elixirs to everybody and stuff. One of the, like, a delightful human being. He was funny as hell. I don't even remember his name, which is a shame. But I just joined that FC to do raiding with them because that was kind of before statics were kind of a thing, and or they were a thing, but people still joined FCs to do raiding. And but I ended up like really hitting it off, and like so we played other games and stuff outside of it. But then after I stopped raiding with them, we kind of fell out. But that was the best scenario. It's like you play all day long, you get that done. I am an adult with a job, and I have to, like I can't. Tongue flaps of Westgate, the reaching ears of Braveflocks. Uplander has come for tasty fresh Gabi treats. Yes? Oh, I love it. Fresh prize of Uplander deep in Longstop. Flighty beast chased Gabi flock from homes. Gabi flock needs goodly Uplander, give safety to Longstop with much hand lending. All right. Good whole goblin talk. All right. I think Q should be really quick. Level 32 quest, so we're making progress. Been playing for about an hour and a half. We made 2 levels worth of progress. It's not bad. I don't think there's anything I can really do in the meantime. My hunting log is done. Outside of these things, which I can't do until I unlock the Isles of Umbra. Yeah. I guess I could go sell some stuff. Make good use of the time. Come on, Tank Q should be quick. Alright, sell. So. Alright. eat. Oh, that reminds me, actually, I wanted to adjust 90. Oh. I forgot that it's all broken up. Okay. Okay, a little bit more. I gotta figure out what I'm streaming tonight. What have you been playing recently? I've been so out of it. I know I haven't been doing a good job of supporting my friends. There is all of the... no, I guess that's it. Division 2. Oh. Man, I was so pumped for that. The Division and Division 2 are two games that I was bamboozled by. I just keep thinking that these other pseudo MMO games are gonna scratch an itch. You know, what I wanted was Borderlands the MMO. But instead what I got was something closer to Destiny, but without fun alien stuff. Like Destiny has elements that are kinda like Guardians of the Galaxy, so I could get into it. I'm not a big military guy. Like, I'm not, you know, a big like military shooter kind of person. So it's like Destiny if you like Call of Duty more. So it's just one of those things that like, and both times, Division and Division 2, I bought the game and was like, this is going to be great. And both times just bounced off of it. Respect to you. I mean, if you're having fun with that, no beef with the actual game itself, just not my cup of tea. I do like alternate history stuff. So that, I think that's why I pulled the trigger and bought them, because there's that kind of element of pseudo apocalypse in that area that's going on. And Division 2, that's the one where you end up, like, if I remember correctly, like you're like in the capital, if I remember. Follow your heart, man. Play something that makes you feel good. Life is way too fucking short to... Too short to play with what you think others want you to play. I love the first one and the second, but it is mostly for the story. Yeah, you see, like, if I dug the story, like, if I was somebody who's into the more, like, military shooter stuff, I think I would have really liked it. Is what it is. Yeah, actually, I mean, the gameplay felt crisp and good. Like, it felt weighty, which is definitely what you want. If you're going to do, like, shooter elements, like, you want it to be weighty and hit. I mean, it really is that feel, that Ubisoft, Activision shooter feel that I feel like it does a good job while still being, you know, RPG-esque mechanics. I mean, that's really all you can ask for. Same thing with Destiny by that regard. Like, I feel like Destiny felt really good. You know what game felt really good? And this is like one of those uncommon opinions. I don't know if did you try Anthem when it came out? The BioWare Destiny take with the mecha. Like, it was dog shit on release. The game had no content at all. but the gameplay itself was super weighty and fun. Like, if there had been a full game around it, I would have played the fuck out of that game. Like, even for as little as it had, I think I still put in like 10 or 20 hours into it. That was my jam. Back when BioWare was good. Well, Anthem really is BioWare after it was good, you know. Okay, come on. Why am I in a 7-minute queue for Brave Flock's long stop? I'm a tank. I guess we need more healers than we need tanks right now. The second I go to do something else. Oh, I know. I can just work on... I'm right here. I can do a fate. Because I need company seals. And this will ensure that my queue will pop. No worries. Yeah. I hope you have a great night. Enjoy your stream. I'll hop over if you're still on when I get off. Take care, man. Good talking to you. You will not There we go. Perfect. Like it new. Oh, come on. Please accept this. I need it for my quest, please. And we lost our healer and our other DPS. That healer got thrown into another queue that was waiting. Okay. Come on. Please, for the love of Christ. Thank you. Ooh, we got some slooty people here. All right. whenever I jump into a dungeon, I send out a little message saying, hey, I'm streaming, just to let you know, I've got your name censored. And so I sent out that message, and our male Makote machinist back there, who was just in a bikini, said, oh, but have you censored out my sexy cat boy? And I said, absolutely not. Never. We're all OKT. All right. Oh. Dark Knight Sword. I actually want to get the treasure so that way I can turn it in for free company marks. We need lots of free company marks. Or grand company marks. Oh, fire blue. Gobby Boo? Present for kindly upland. Thanks, Gray Fox. The machinist is pumping big damage, which he should be. His big AoE pulls like that. So sexy. So fast. I could have snuck another GCV in there. That's fine. This guy stunnable? He is. I could have stunned him out of it. Oh, I'm bad. I'm bad at the game, guys. There. I like the infantry gear. Not gonna keep it though. We're gonna turn that into incoming seals. I do like it. Alright, that wasn't great, but we figured it. Quick run though. 7 minutes so far. 7 minutes and 50 seconds. Oh, we'll watch the scene. We only watch this. This guy used to be so much harder than he is currently. Toxic bomb. Gross. It's so funny. I just realized we have two machinists. That's why our DPS is so incredible. The AoE DPS on machinists and bards at this level are just ridiculous. A little slower on bosses, but the AoE and trash bowls, because they have that spammable tonal AoE, it's just bonkers. All right. Oh, we got 5 items. Yeah. Like I like the infantry shirt. I really like the tanking infantry here. That's what it is. Oh, we got 2 commendations there. Got me our leaving a good impression achievement. Which means we can get our princely hatchling. For 50 commendations. There. Didn't like that I was mounted. Goodly Uplander has thinks of Gobby Flock. Lady Beast was tricksy foe, but Uplander outwitted Landsman. Uplander was goodly head for fighting. Brayflock's happy gives tasty fresh gobby treats to clever Uplander. Thanks, Brayflocks. Jesus, stinky sweet gobby treat. Special make with special gobby tarts. No party complete without gobby gouda. Gray Fox everything. This reminds me of the Alexander quest line in Heaven's Word. And the Illuminati Gobos. A lot of that conversation. A lot of that stuff. Alright. I gather you solved Gray Fox's little problem. Yes, we did. By the gods, that unholy stench. This is... Ugh. Definitely goblin cheese. Judging from the smell, this should be quite flavorful. How's it made? It's best you remain ignorant of such things. I still remember when I learned what kind of milk they use. Pretty fucking good, actually. We are going to get started on the next leg of the quest. We are almost to Titan, very shortly hereafter. We are going to take a break, though, so I'm going to run ads a little bit early. We have ads coming in 7 minutes. I'm just going to run them now. I'm going to do a stretch break, and then we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. All right. Welcome back. Just got stuff from work, which is great. I love getting that at night. It is what it is. There's something I can do about it later. All right. Let's go. What do you mean you forgot the wine? Bravo, Myth. Thanks to you, our guest shall be honored with a marvelous meal. But what good is an exotic feast without an equally exquisite aperitif? Luckily, I know just the person to ask. Make your way to Wineport and seek out Shamani Lomani, another former member of the company. All you have to do is give him this orders. He'll take the rest. Oh, and if you're wondering if this is merely a ploy to test your patience, I assure you I do actually need that wine. And while you're there, give Shamani Lomani my regards. Sweat, grime, and blood. Ah, you seek a blood. An adventure, unless I'm mistaken. What brings you to wine? Is this the part that takes us to Memorin? An order? Let me guess. A request for the finest vintage I can muster. Paper smells of loam and perfume. Costa del Sol. And there's also the unmistakable odor of goblin cheese. Yes, Master Gegaruju would not settle for anything less than the best. Thirstwites and his crew must be quite busy preparing an exotic feast, hence his decision to rely on an adventure. But perhaps you are confused. This display of deduction was not intended to impress you. When one loses his vision, he is forced to compensate in other ways. You have no interest in my affairs. You only wish to discuss the wine, I suspect. Look at this little choco boy. He's just running. He wants to be in the frame. A little attention hog. Little attention hog. Life can be so delightfully unpredictable. I always had a passion for wine, but it wasn't until I was forced to retire that I could pursue it as more than a mere hobby. It wouldn't have been possible if not for the savings I amassed during my time as a mercenary, of course. Say what you will about the nature of that work, none can deny that it pays well. Ah, but you grow impatient, and Wisket must have his wine. Herein lies the problem. Nothing in my possession is of sufficient quality for this occasion. Best vintages in town are hoarded by Berglant, who owns and operates the largest winery in Village. Somehow, I doubt he will be receptive to your request, but given these circumstances, we must needs beg his assistance. Alright, let's go. An offer you can refuse. What rank amateur bottled this wine? The impurities have rendered it nigh undrinkable. Dismissal was too good for the man responsible. He should be made to drink every drop of this polluted swill. What is it? I'm in the middle of an important discussion, and I do not care for interruptions. That neophyte vintner did bid you to speak with me? Ha. Neither you nor your friend has the palate to appreciate the subtle qualities of my private stock. I would sooner serve you gubu or urine than sell you my worst vintage. Begone from my sight. All right. Thanks for the talk. Why does he gotta be so mean? He's mean. I take it he said no? Really, in those words? Well, I cannot say that I'm surprised. While there's no denying his passion and skill, the wine baron of Limsa Limits is not a man known for his tact. Very well, we shall have to take an alternative approach. There is a chance, however small, that another resident of Wineport could furnish us with a suitable wine. In fact, had you come several years ago, I guarantee this would not be a problem. Alas, the quality of our product has declined significantly in recent years. The only breeds cultivated these days are common lowland vines. Which isn't to say that the grapes are of poor quality, only that we have known better. Long ago, the vignerons of wine port crossbred several species and produced a grape-bearing vine of never-before-seen quality. Bacchus grapes were once the pride of this town, as they were used to produce vintages which surpassed all others. This includes the most aromatic, the most complex, the most flavorful of all wines. Aye, the legendary Bacchus wines were born right here in London. Pardon my enthusiasm. You see, I once had the privilege to sample that particular wine. It was an otherworldly experience. In that moment, I felt as though I had tasted the nectar of the gods themselves, transcended by mortal flesh, and was one with all creation. But, as is all too often said, the calamity changed that. The Bacchus vineyards were completely destroyed, along with much of the existing stock of Bacchus wine. What little remains is closely guarded by its owners, for it can no longer be made. If we cannot convince Bergliant to part with his wines, our next best option, as ridiculous as it sounds, is to find someone who has a bottle of Bacchus wine, and to offer them every gill we can spare. Heard rumors that one of the vignerons attending the vineyards might have once owned a bottle. Perhaps you should start speaking with them. All right. Let's do this. This quest is, I get it for the world building purposes, but this is truly just filler. It's obnoxious. Where is this person? Are they behind the building? Oh yeah, I forgot that there's like the multiple tiers. This is a winery, and the grapes grow in terraces. Up here. Durham Falerum. Bacchus wine. Bah, don't remind me. Used to have a cellar filled with the stuff. Thought I could keep the wine safe from thieves and the elements. Never counted on a bloody primal blowing up my goddamned house. Alright, sorry to bring up such a sore subject. I apologize. What? Do I have Bacchus wine? I wish. I never had the chance to try it myself. Sorry, friend, but you're a few years too late. No luck? Most regrettable. But we had to try. But Bacchus wine would have been perfect for the occasion. Though I must confess, my certitude could be due in part to my personal history with the beverage. It is, after all, the very reason I decided to become a vintner. After Titan blinded me in our battle beneath Ogamoro, I fell into a deep depression. It wasn't until I tasted Bacchus wine for the first time that I realized there was still so much more I could experience, even in my condition. It helped me find a new direction in life. It breaks my heart to think that wondrous ambrosia, which once filled me with hope, may forever be lost to us. Do strength? Oh, for 15 seconds. We are level 49. I must say, this talk of Bacchus wine has made me rather nostalgic. Indeed, there is much I miss about my life with the company of heroes. After everything the captain has done for me, I cannot bear to disappoint. I have no fear. I swear that I shall find a suitable wine for the banquet, though I may need some time to think of a solution. In the meantime, there's a favor I would ask. 2 years ago, in the deepest depths of my despair, I stumbled across Vilbrand as a vagabond drunk. I suspect that I was looking for a place to die, because I would very nearly found one not far from here. It was there that a man named Dress took me in and nursed me back to health. And it was he who gave me my first taste of Bacchus wine, which helped me to find my new calling. Though I am still a novice in the arts of winemaking, I would like him to know that I am pursuing my dream. This wine is my own original creation, and I would be most grateful if you delivered it to him in my stead. Dressed sometimes works at the Raincatcher Gully docks, so perhaps Ritzskilt can tell you where to find them. The names. Funny, weird Final Fantasy. Yeah, so I forgot about this. This is the whole, there's like a guy in a shack. Let me get the line. I forgot. Dressed? Oh, you mean the hermit. I toss him a few gil when we need an extra pair of hands. Doesn't talk about himself, and I sure as hells don't ask. When a man's got a face with scars like that, you best leave well enough alone, I say. If you've mind to find him, though, then head southwest to the Severed Street. What do you want? Shimano Lomani's first attempt at winemaking. At least the name sounds legitimate. A Lomani Rosso. Or Rosso? Rosso. Oh, wine? I didn't ask for this. Who sent you? I... Can't sleep. It won't let me sleep. The midges, the buzzing, it keeps me awake. I'm not... I never wanted to hurt anyone. I won't fight. I don't want to fight. Please, make the buzzing stop. Make the midges go away. Alright. I will go kill some bugs for you. Ho ho ho. Jolly green. I love Goobos. Those big, cute, mossy monsters. I don't want to fight you, Gooboo. My beef is not with you. It is with the flies. All right. Not so loud anymore. Did you do that? Thank you. You helped me. Even after what my comrades and I did to your country. We were on a reconnaissance mission when the maelstrom caught us by surprise. Tried to escape, but the others... No one else survived. Didn't ask for this, damn it. I'm not even Garlean. They conquered my lands just like they tried to conquer yours. I don't want to die in some blasted jungle halfway around the world. I just want to go home. Oh. I forgot about this quest. I mean, I remember the quest, but the context of the story. Especially everything that happens later on with the Garleans. This is interesting. I wish to thank Shimani for the wine. That was overly kind. She'd be willing to bear a gift back to him. Earlier today at Red Mantis Falls, I collected the sap from nearby palm trees. If placed in coconut shells and stored for a few bills' time, it makes for a fine wine, see? It should be ready by now. I left 3 shells out there. Please, take them to Shimani for me. I'm glad he's moved on with his life. I hope to one day do the same. Alright, so palm wine. I thought I'd be able to go in there, but I forgot not all the water is swimmable in the old world. It has been some time, Myth. What news do you have of Drest? Sap of a palm tree, fermented inside an island coconut shell. Far more potent than wine made from grapes. Palm wine, if brewed for long, can cause loss of eyesight or even death. Yes. I recall he did have some knowledge of winemaking. A simplistic but nevertheless effective method that utilizes the natural properties of palm sap. I shall have to enjoy this batch before it spoils. We are not so different, Drest and I. 2 men who have long struggled not to let our scars define us. I worry that he has been alone with his thoughts for far too long. It's past time I paid him a visit. Thank you for looking after him. By the God, Smith, listen. I know you're eager to wash your hands of this wine business, but I've just discovered something extraordinarily about Drest's palm wine. He sealed each coconut shell with a leaf which has a very distinct shape and unusual odor. I thought I was going mad at first, but now I'm certain. These are the leaves of a Bacchus grapevine. Do you know what this means? Somewhere in Raincatcher Gully, the legendary vine still grows. If we could obtain a cutting, we could revive the Bacchus wine industry. We must know where Drest found these leaves. Here, take one of them back to him and see what he remembers. Alright. We'll continue bothering this poor homeless man with PTSD, so that way we can make our wine. Oh, hello again. What is it? It's just a leaf, isn't it? I only chose it because it was pretty. Didn't know it was rare. I found them near the Juggernaut to the south, but I didn't see any grapevines. I saw fresh gubu tracks, though. Maybe the leaves come from vines growing on the back of one such beast. If you go looking for it, please be careful. Some gubus are more territorial than others, and you may have to defend yourself. This is wine made from gubus. Is gubu wine. Kinda gross, but kinda cute. Cheswood. Surely the only way we can get it is by killing the beast. Yep. We got a Bacchus cutting. I'm just gonna go for it. What's dressed have to say, Myth? Tell me everything. I was right. The smell, this texture. I hold in my hands a Bacchus grape vine cutting. Come now, enough of this nonsense. I've heard talk of your discovery, and I refuse to believe that a common adventurer and a novice vintner could. 12 is my witness. It is a Bacchus grapevine. Wherever did you find this fantastic specimen? What? You would offer this to me? But why? There's none better positioned to reconstruct the Bacchus vineyards than you, Master Berglian. You have the resources, the knowledge, and the passion to do so. It would be selfish of me to keep this cutting. I never knew you cared so deeply about your craft. Thank you, good sir. I will not squander this gift. In just a few years' time, I swear that every tavern across Eorzea will once again be clamoring for a cask of Wineport's legendary Bacchus wine. Sir, you need... Wait, the shape of this bottle, the scent of this label, this couldn't possibly be 1547 Bacchus? But that's impossible. This vintage has not been seen since years before their claim. It was the crown jewel of my personal collection. For years, I debated opening it, wondering if today or tomorrow would be the ideal time. But now I realize that it was never meant for me. It should be savored by the saviors of Wineport, I said. He's made us an offer we cannot refuse. Master Gegaruju will find no finer wine. You have forever changed Wineport, Myth. Thank you for your kindness and your generosity. But do not permit me to delay you any longer. Pray deliver the wine to Captain Waistcoat. Well, yes, I would very much like to drink it. But I am a patient man, and I have faith that one day I shall have another opportunity to taste perfection. All of this for a bottle of wine. And it's cool though, so this is... It's helping to establish the context of the import of the calamity and how much it changed the world. These are people just dealing in the aftermath of it. It still is weird though, especially if you're a player who didn't play 1.0 and if you care more about finding primals than the people of the world. Because like, this isn't even really stuff that ends up being super important or anything like that. I am curious if like later on, because we do know that some time passes. It's not really a time jump, but it's implied that time passes throughout the expansions. So I wonder if the Bacchus wine fields are up and running by Endwalker. Like, I wonder if I came back here and talked to the NPCs or something. Be interesting. Who the show last? Greetings, Myth. I thought it fitting that I seek you out and offer my gratitude for all that you've accomplished. All right. Your prolonged absence was beginning to concern me. So what of the wine that I asked you to make? Is that? Well, 7 hells, a 1547 Bacchus. Even I know how rare that is. I have to admit, I didn't think you had it in you, but congratulations, Myth. Thanks to you, this will be the most luxurious feast Costa del Sol has had in years. Considering the lengths you went to, I hope our guests appreciate it. Speaking of which, your associate arrived a short while ago. She appears to be growing somewhat impatient. Perhaps you could tell her what the banquet is about to begin. Now we got our Gubu seedling. You have the look of a woman who has been to the 7th hell and back. That a guest should be expected to supply the victuals for a banquet held in her own honor, and this while the shadow of Titan looms over us all, beggars believe. I can only applaud your stoicism. Had I been asked to endure such ignominy, I fear I should have accepted my lot with less grace. Lady Stola, Lady Melchior. A thousand pardons for this extreme discourtesy. I was wholly unaware of your true identity, madam. Had I known, I would never have permitted my man to subject you to such unspeakable ordeals. Come now, she must have sensed something was amiss. You didn't seriously think I would send you running the length and breadth of Eorzea for a banquet, did you? Spare her your mockery, Captain. Your intent was unclear to me until this moment. And unlike me, Myth has no knowledge of your traditions. Mayhap you would be so good as to enlighten her. That's fair. There's no sense in hiding it any longer. We 5 were chosen by our brothers and sisters, and before the Company of Heroes disbanded, we each swore a solemn oath. That any who would follow in our footsteps must be weighed and measured, not by their reputation, but by their deeds. Each man would judge these would-be godslayers by his own criteria. If even one found her wanting, she'd be rejected without a second thought. But if she proved herself worthy, we swore that we would do our utmost to support her cause. The world has ever been full of brave souls eager to give their lives for a righteous cause, and all too few capable of making a difference with their sacrifice. To send wave after wave of hapless adventurers into the jaws of a foe against whom they have no hope of victory is worse than futile. Titan is not one to be challenged lightly, and we will not be complicit in the deaths of the unworthy. Which is why the 5 of you deigned to test Myth with such commendable thoroughness. Time well spent, I'm sure, but tell us, Captain, what is the assessment of you and your fellows? Now, she's a brave one, that much is certain. She willingly walked into the midst of danger despite my repeated warnings that could cost her her life. Her skill is undeniable. She stalked her prey as relentlessly as any child of the sands, and struck with precision when an opportunity presented itself. Too many adventurers these days care only for fortune and glory. Myth, however, is a kind and generous soul. I am certain she has no shortage of loyal allies who will gladly fight at her side. Shh. Wily Uplander is talented plans maker, tricksy foe for a mighty rock. I can only concur with my colleague's assessment. We 5 of the Company of Heroes hereby judge you a worthy challenger. Cast down the Lord of Cragsmith, Melchior, and write a new chapter in the history of heroes. Get the formalities out of the way. Let the festivities begin. Summon the dancers, pour the wine. Eat, drink, and be merry, my friends, for today we celebrate the birth of a new legend. Myth Melchior, Titan's Bane. So this is all good world building. My only issue with all of this is it's done under this presumed situation that Titan is like bearing down on us. And yet we go and do the equivalence of an anime filler arc. Just weird tonally, but it's all good stuff. Just weird. Congratulations, sweetling. Now relax and enjoy the show. It's only just me. Right? Seeing everyone again like this brings back such fond memories. Wonder if any of them would be interested in reforming the company. Tasty fresh treats are plentiful in belly of Greyfall. Feels wonderful to be with the others again. I wish this day would never end. I feel like that stuff's good. Please conduct yourself with dignity whilst visiting Costa del Sol. If you behave inappropriately towards other guests, I may be forced to carry out punitive action. Why just... It's weird. It's been too long since I last set foot outside Forgotten Springs. Passing the time with old friends and old wine. Today is a good day. This is what we call 2013 style graphics for food. This isn't Monster. Asher. What goes at Asher? I am alive, yes. Working through the MSQ. It's been a rough 6 months with my day job, so good to see you though, and thanks for stopping by. I'm gonna be trying to stream pretty regularly, just working through MSQ. I'm not gonna be doing formal videos because this project I'm working on for work it's going to go until the middle of 2025, so I don't have the free time that I had before. But I'm going to be streaming it, and then I'm also I'm streaming to YouTube as well. So basically, I'm going to cover the content I was covering, but just putting on YouTube. But yeah, all things considered, in good health, and family and friends are good. So it's, you can't complain, right? That's the best in the new year. So happy new year to you, friend. Happy to be back into the game. It's definitely super pumped seeing the full trailer for Dawntrail. I really want to play Viper. I think Pictomancer looks really, really cool. Not really interested in playing it because I love Red Mage so much. But pumped for Viper. Pumped for the content though. Dawntrail looks like it's going to be super full of content. It's going to be a really good time. Yeah, it looks so good. I mean, we're getting another exploration zone, so we're getting a Boja, we're getting a deep dungeon update, we're getting all of the regular stuff we get with Ultimates and the 2 raid series and the new story, new characters. What else? I feel like we're getting the cosmic exploration thing, which I guess is close to like the Ishgard restoration, which intrigues me. I didn't partake a lot in the original Ishgard restoration, or the Doma restoration for that matter. So, intrigued by that. But I mean, this expansion looks like it's going to be a banger. It's going to be filled with content and a lot of good stuff. I do have concerns with the story. I don't think that it's going to be bad, but I do have just concerns with they're kicking off this new leg of the story, and this new leg hopefully doesn't get resolved in just this expansion. Hopefully it's like a second, multi-expansion storyline. But it's risky. It's always risky when you're telling a new story. I have full faith and trust in the team, but that's the only thing that scares me. But from a gameplay perspective, the graphics update, like everything, Dawntrail is just going to be so incredible. It's going to be so good. Thoughts on Hrothgal? I think the model looks incredible. I really like that they went more for muscle mommy than they did for something that was really like petite and all that, because there's already so much of those options, right? So between Aura and Midlander and obviously Makote for like the cute little petite side, but then you also have like Femro and Elizin and Vieira, which fill this other side of it that is still kind of like sexualized, where Hrothgals are like, they're muscular, they're lithe, but they're not super beefy, but they're definitely not petite. So they actually, I feel like they did a good job of representing a body shape and a body style that is not currently represented, which I thought that's like super successful in my opinion. You're just giving more avenue for your audience to express themselves. So I like it. I like that they aren't mega busty, because that always looks weird. I mean, I'm not kink shaming anybody, but I've never been into the furrier aspects of that stuff. So I like that it leans just more anthro than like, let's really, sexualize this thing. So I think a part of the reason they look so friggin' good is because they're being represented in the new graphics setting. So we have to remember that all the other races are also going to look better in the new graphics as well. But I think they look really good. So yeah, I haven't played the recent patches. So I don't know where we're at yet. But my last patch was, I mean, it's been a minute on my main because I was playing Myth last year. So it was Aglaia. I did the second Pandemonium raid series, and I did the first 24-man. So the last time I played on my main was before the second. So like, I'm pretty far. There's like 4 or 5 patches worth of story content that I'm behind on. Like I've met Zero, I fought Barbaricia, I fought what's it called? The one boss. But hopefully I'm not spoiling any of that for you. I don't know. I forget actually where you were with the story. So yeah, I would feel terrible actually if I just spoiled it. I feel like you are up to date on it though. I remember correctly. But yeah, so I'm interested with where the story is going to go, but we'll see. Anyways, we gotta wrap this up. I gotta fight Titan before I log off for the night. All caught up. No worries. Okay, awesome. Yeah, there was another person who was following my stuff, who was in Stormblood, and very, very cognizant of spoilers. So I was trying to make sure that I was always being careful with them. I don't think that they're in the chat. So I think we're but yeah, but I'm pumped. But so there's stuff like I don't know how all of that stuff wraps up. And then obviously I know the more, like the patch that we get in a couple of weeks is really supposed to lead us into the story that's happening. And yeah, so we'll see. I'm excited. But first, we have to fight Titan. It's going to be a mad dash with all of my work stuff, so I can't play that often. I mean, I could play quite a bit. I can still be a degenerate, but like, I'm going to try to get Myth to Dawntrail before Dawntrail release. And when you consider that I'm not skipping cutscenes or anything like that, it's actually going to be, pretty close, I think, depending on how many hours I can play. So when you face the Lord of the Crags, think not of Limsa Lominsa, Eorzea, or anything beyond his chamber. Think only of men and women by your side. Fight for them, and they'll fight for you. Remember, that no great victory was ever achieved alone. Goodly Uplander must be facing mighty Rockman with clever fighting. Gobbyflock cannot be coming to rescue this time. Ah, Myth, you brave fool. Promise me that when you meet Titan, you'll look at him in the eye and tell him Landon Nelson's his regrets. You are a veteran of countless battles, Myth. This is but one more. Trust in your experience and you will prevail. You are blessed with the fortitude to rival the earth itself. Titan will struggle to break away. All right. Yeah, this is all just so frustrating. I hate this. I don't hate. Hate's too strong of a word. This whole quest chain is frustrating from a storytelling perspective. You are kind of indulged in that. This banquet is much for the company as it is for you, whatever they may think. Forget, did you say you have done? No, I have not done any ultimates. Which is frustrating. I was just telling my buddy Skiapodes, he's a fellow streamer. He was in here earlier and we were chatting. And we were talking about that's one of my goals. I want to do an ultimate in Dawntrail. If I have time, I'd love to try for Omega, but I don't know how many people are still doing it. And I've got so much content to get through before then. But if I get done like ridiculously early, or if the expansion gets delayed until much later in the year, you know, something closer to like a September or October, then maybe. But in Dawntrail, I definitely, it is my goal. I want to do Savage again because it's been a while since I've done Savage. So I want to do Savage, but Savage is, it's hard, but it's not that hard. If you know, you just give it a couple hours and you can do it. But I really want to do the ultimate, especially since it's going to be the Shadowbringers raid series with Gaia and Ryan, which I love so much, and I think that's going to be friggin' amazing. I'm a little sad that we didn't get Stormblood MSQ ultimate because the Shinryu fight and the menagerie at the end of Stormblood is one of my favorite fights in the entire game. And so having an ultimate version of that would have been incredible, with obviously all the changes and stuff that they do. But I can see why the rest of it wouldn't really work because it's all kind of disjointed. Stormblood does a lot in its post game that's a little weird. But yeah, I'm pumped. I definitely want to. Have you been doing them? I do not deny that they mean well, but now I scarcely have time for celebration. Though they have all but pronounced you the victor, the battle with Titan has yet to begin. The hour has come for a good captain to make good on his promise. We must speak with him again. Oh, thank God. You got the mount speed up there. You must be eager to face Titan. As promised, I'll show you the way. Travel to Bronze Lake in Upper Lenosha. There you will meet Riel, another man who once served with the company. To ensure that this knowledge does not fall into the wrong hands, he will remain in hiding until we have given the correct signal. Give me your map. You must whistle loudly at the 3 locations I mark. Only then will he appear to meet you at his 4th location. I realize this may seem excessive, but you'll see that it is more than reasonable once you comprehend the risks inherent in our map. Asher says, good goal. I think the next few are meant to be easier than DSR and top, which may be nice. Yeah, I mean, I heard top was, it's my cup of tea. Like, I love rating where you make progress in the single percentages, where you really feel the group learning together. But the problem is that it's a grinder. and you have some people who are fun to raid with, but aren't built to go through that kind of a ringer. So you end up losing them, and then you end up replacing them with people who are maybe less fun to play with. So I get it. I've heard that they probably don't want to go as difficult as top was, but a part of me regrets that because I really wanted to experience top. I did this Savage tier and it's supposed to start Uwu soon, but thus far I've not done it. I've heard Uwu's not bad. I was listening to Mr. Happy. I follow Mr. Happy quite a bit, and he was talking about how that's still a fun one to like get a group of people together and do, and even people who know it inside and out, they have fun doing it. So you'll find people that will fill that just want to do it for the experience. So yeah, and yeah, easiest makes sense because they didn't know how far they could really push the players. That's what I'm more concerned with though, is like, I don't mind it being difficult as long as it's fun. But if it's difficult and unfun, that's not a fan. And there's definitely both sides of it. Like for example, in Stormblood when I was doing Savage, like for example, the X-Death fight. I think the X-Death fight in Savage at Stormblood launch was incredibly fun. But the two bosses leading up to it, the gravity inverti guy and the oh my god, what is her name? I don't remember her name. Both of those fights were not fun for the team to progress. So our prog just like sucked. We had some healers that were really bad at DPS with that group, so our DPS had to pick up the slack. It was a lot of more casual players, basically. Where the hell is this? Is it down there? Must be. No, it's up. I heard DSR and top. The unfun part was the prog due to some bugs and weird mechs, but apparently DSR is one of the most fun fights from what I've heard. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to do all of them. It's the one part of the game that I think what hurts this game a little is how it also helps the game is the way statics work. How the community doesn't really organize into free companies much. I mean, obviously there are free companies, and there are free companies that raid together, but it is not necessarily that you have to find a raiding free company. Oh, I forgot that this is where we meet Real. Okay. I think that hurts the game a little bit because people, when you so in other MMOs, you join a guild that raids, you feel kind of beholden to the guild, right? So it's like, oh, even maybe there are members of the guild that don't raid with you, but they enjoy doing the crafting bit. So they're supplying the raiders with their crafting mats, the potions and whatnot. To where this game had that for a little while, but now the whole thing is just like find a static and play with that group and do cross server. It doesn't matter if you're in an FC. And I feel like that lack of a sense of community hurts it a little bit, but I think it also helps because people are willing to just jump into a group with a bunch of random people on other, data centers if you find good people. So it hurts and it helps, but I don't know. I think it makes it rough for me. And that's why I didn't really get into it. I was lacking that community sense. Like when I log in, I like having the regulars that are on in my free company or whatever. So. But it's all good. Pay attention now because I ain't explained myself twice. All right. Time for us to fight Titan. So easy. Years ago, when we was weighing up how to get to Titan, one of our scouts stumbled across the beast beneath, right? See? Now what's that look for? Not familiar with him? He speaks of an unamplified aetherite which has been claimed by a beast tribe. Lest you wonder, there is no fundamental difference between such aetherites and those which you have countless occasions with. Yeah, I feel that. I thought it was very strange when I first started doing endgame that FCs don't actually really do that much. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can still find some FCs that do it, but yeah, it's more FCs, more just like, hey, we all share a house, and sometimes we have parties together. And like that's really all FCs are used for. Or we're in real life friends, and we all play casually. Like that's what most FCs are, I find. Well, faint, Charlene less. Welcome back. Forgive me for interrupting. I plan to await your report, but I succumb to curiosity. The tunnels beneath Ogamoro form a bewildering labyrinth that no outsiders ever fully explored. How the company of heroes managed to navigate is a mystery I have long pondered. Oh, Asher, that's... I mean, again, some people are just looking for company. So I don't hate on it. But the problem with just spam inviting everybody is there's no rhyme or reason to it. There's no like shared vision or shared goal. So it just ends up being that there's, 150 people in this free company that don't talk to each other, but they just have a tag next to their name. Like, it's just weird. Sometimes they work. Sometimes you get a really good group of talkative people in a free company. And then when others join, they partake in the conversations. But if you don't have like a core group of regulars that are chatting, those free companies are almost more dead than the server itself if you didn't have a free company. It's just weird. It's a roll of the dice, that's for sure. And I don't know what the solution is. I wish that Square would, honestly, I'd say lean back into it. I say give some good reason for free companies to exist and for the community to exist. I mean, there's plenty of already a good reason, but you know what I mean? Like, I personally would like it, but it is what it is. It's the ones that are social and actually talk, it's fun. The random invites are just a welcome without anything ever. Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. Well, and it's also weird too, because if you're the random person who just got invited and you're like, hey, and then a couple of people are like, hey, it's like, well, I don't know what your guys' thing is, so I'm not going to, maybe that's just the introvert in me, I guess. But it's like, I'm not going to just start talking and being, like, again, it takes the kind of like, you have to have an existing core, or else I feel like all the people that you invite are just going to be like, oh, okay, well, at least I have a house to have an apartment in, or I can go feed my chocobo at the stables. Like, that's more or less it. That's like the only real benefit. Who knows? The kobolds are always digging new tunnels and filling the old ones with traps. One wrong step, and the next thing you know, you've got hundreds of tons of rock on your noggin. Suicide to even try, see? Funny thing was, the kobolds didn't seem to have no trouble finding their way around, and it was that as got us thinking. I mean, Ugamaro mines are like a bleeding city, ain't they? And getting around in a city that big would be a right pain in the arse if you didn't have an Ethernet, wouldn't it? So it stood to reason that the kobolds must have one, didn't it? I like that they jump through all of these hoops basically to explain why we teleport into Fight Titan. Just funny. Even if there were aetherite shards in the depths of Ogamoro, you would have needed to tune yourselves to them before you could identify their signatures within the life stream. Ah, well, that's where you're wrong, love. We had the Charlene bloke to help us, see? Delivered us right in the Titan's bedchamber. I don't rightly know how he did it, but I do remember him saying it weren't nothing any Charlene scholar worth her salt couldn't manage. Did he now? Locating a beacon in the absence of a known signature might be possible if the aetherites in question happen to be oh yes. But in order to guide a traveler to said beacon safely, a second party would be required to. It is possible. In theory, at least. Yet I cannot be certain until I try. Plainly, it will depend on whether or not I'm worth my salt. Ah, you are, lass. Don't you worry about that. Have a bit of faith in yourself. Why don't we all go to Zelma's ruin and take a closer look at the Aetheryte? It ain't far, though there's sure to be a few kobolds blocking the way. Not you can't handle. Yeah, I'll fight a couple of kobolds and we'll click the rock so I can fight the Titan. Click the rock so you can fight them. But yeah, friggin' pumped for Dawntrail. I want to play Viper so bad. Apparently, early talk is that it's a more complex job, so it's similar to like Monk or Ninja, which really intrigues me because I love Monk. And I live on the East Coast, so it's a little rough playing Ninja. I've heard with the inputs and with lag, it can be a little rough. Same reason for Machinist. Double weaving is a little harder with my thing, but Viper intrigues me. So I'm hoping that I'm able to play it at a high level. Definitely want to play. If not though, I mean, I'm fully expecting to be a tank in any of the content that I do, because that is my jam. That is my primary. Yeah, it looks very cool. And like I always loved Final Fantasy 9, and yeah. Omni Tank is traditionally what I play on my main. I mean, I've leveled Red Mage to max, and Machines to max, Archer to max, Sage to max. I've done quite a few. Just you play the game long enough, right? You know how it is. But no, I've leveled all 4 tanks to max and have done significant content all of them outside of ultimates. Warrior is my ultimate favorite. Warrior's the best. I can't. It's my love. The only reason I'm not playing Warrior on Myth here is because I just don't feel like her character fits the Warrior motif, even though my main is a female Aura. So like, just a little tiny axe demon is basically what she is. So I'm playing Paladin on her. But like every time I pass the Warrior guild, I'm like, maybe I'll just stop in and pick up that. Maybe I'll just unlock Warrior and play that. And I know as soon as I get to Ishgard, I'm going to be like, maybe if I just unlock Dark Knight, what if I just level all of the tanks again? Dude, in the next expansion, it is likely we get a tank. We're due. And I'm really hoping we get Mystic Knight as a tank, which I don't know how much of the other Final Fantasy games you've played, but Mystic Knight is from like Final Fantasy V. Final Fantasy Tactics has kind of a version of the Mystic, but basically they are like kind of all in robes, kind of like a Viper, where you know you've got like the flowy kind of robes. They're kind of like Arabian style. And they fight with shame shears, but their whole shtick is they bless all of their weapons with elements. So it's like fire blade, lightning blade, ice blade, stuff like that. And so like I would adore if there was a tank class for Mystic Knight that got to do that, basically. So it's like your fire blade is like for DPS rotation, ice blade is like defensive cooldowns, and then like thunder blade is like your 2-minute cooldown for like spike damage phases and stuff like that. But we will see. It's also one of the rarer ones, but we got Pictomancer. And Pictomancer is literally from Final Fantasy VI. And outside of like, I think there is an artist in X2, I think. It's been a long time since I've played X2. But like Pictomancer is another really deep cut. So Mystic Knight is possible. And I would love to see it. In its present state, this Aetheryte signal will not be strong enough for our purposes. I may, however, be able to use my own energies to amplify it. Alas, the task will monopolize my attention for the duration. It seems you will have to proceed without me, Myth. I must needs remain here and supplement this beacon's power. lest you be denied your only path of escape. Fear not, I'll summon the Maelstrom forces stationed nearby to protect. With effort, it is possible that I may be able to stabilize the Aetheryte signal and thereby join you. Albeit belated. Until such time as I do, you'll be on your own. It's like a magic tank. Yeah, it's kind of magic tank. Yeah. It's like a magic using tank. So like Paladin traditionally does holy magic, cures and stuff. Dark Knight in other games usually was health, like it hurt its own health to do extra damage. In this game, it's more of an anti-magic tank. Warrior is actually a weird one because we haven't had Warrior too frequently. We get like, you know, Berserker style stuff. But yeah, Mystic Knight is like, it casts a lot of magic to do its damage. Fights with a sword and shield though, so it would be similar to, the only thing that makes me think it might not happen is because it fights with a sword and shield. So it's too similar to Paladin in that regard, so we would see. Also, I get what you mean. To me, my characters have an identity. Some people don't understand that. I have an ad I can't hear it right now. Aw. Oh, I'm sorry. A lot of we'll see. Oh, okay. I've located another beacon, one far below the mountain. I can only speculate as to what we will find there, so stint not in your preparation. I think Asher should almost be back. Which is telling me that the ad break is just now running out. Sorry about that. They force us to run ads. Either I run them in bulk or they do a minute-long one 3 times now, which I think is more egregious than a 3-minute one once an hour. I don't know which one is worse. They're both terrible options, basically. But at least one you're like, okay, I got 3 minutes. Let me take a bathroom break or something. Or if it's 1 minute every like 20 minutes, like that's, I don't know, that seems ridiculous to me. But, well, that's cool that this is your only Final Fantasy. So you get to, you've enjoyed this game just on its own premise, which is cool because like somebody like me who like lived and breathed it, like I grew up playing this stuff, but this was my jam. A big part of the allure for this game is the like myriad of references. Like this game is just a love letter to the series. So, and honestly, like I would say, like I want Mystic Knight. There's not a lot of Mystic Knight stands out there. Although again, Pictomancer also though was very like, I mean, people love Realm. It's based off of a character named Realm in Final Fantasy VI, but and she's awesome. She's delightful. She's a great character. But there's not like a lot of people out there who are like clamoring for it. I think everybody kind of thought it'd be a weird class. So yeah, a lot of Final Fantasy 14 lovers just adore it. But I think the strength of this game is that despite it being full of references, it's also stands on its own. Like it doesn't treat the audience that doesn't know anything about Final Fantasy like a layperson, or like they are lesser, or like, you know, they're not allowed to be a part of the community or understand what's really going on. Like all of the references are just that. They're just Easter eggs. They're just references. If you know them, great. If you don't know them, well, okay. But Final Fantasy 14 does a good job of selling it, and you know, that's the whole shtick with the four lords in the elemental lords in the Endwalker stuff. Those are all from Final Fantasy 4, and Golbez is a big villain of Final Fantasy 4. Zeromus is the last boss of Final Fantasy 4. But if you haven't played Final Fantasy 4, the game explained who all those people are in this game, and that's like the true canon in this game. They are not exactly the same as they were in Final Fantasy 4. They're just references. So yeah, they do it surprisingly well. Yeah, completely agree. Yeah, so they either do it with those kinds of references, or they do it with stuff like throwaway stuff. So the name of some character is just, it just so happens that it's the same name as somebody else, but you don't have to have known the character or anything. Like Kryl, for example. Kryl is straight up a character in Final Fantasy V, and she plays the daughter of a character named Galuf, or a granddaughter of a character named Galuf. But their stories are completely different. Like they couldn't be farther from the same story in this game, but she looks just like, even with the cat ears and the hood, like that's like her whole shtick. So some people like really appreciate that stuff, to where other characters like Estinian and all the primary scions, those are all brand new characters. They're not references to anything. They're characters created just for this game. So in a way, like for example, Kryl being a scion, but also being a direct reference to that Final Fantasy V character, in a way kind of lessens her character a little bit, versus somebody like Alizé, or Alphino, or Estinian, or Graha, like those characters who are unique to this game and fully have their own story. It's like everybody's invested in them, and they're not standing on the shoulders or the pillars of some past game. They're just who they are. So you know, I was thinking as a tank that all of my queues would be so fast. I waited, I think it was 10 minutes earlier for Brayflox, and now I'm at 6 minutes waiting on Titan. But yeah, I fully anticipate we're not going to get Mystic Knight. I assume the next tank will be a unique. It'll be something that they create just for the game. Similar to Viper. Or technically Gunbreaker. Gunbreaker is loosely based off of Final Fantasy VIII, but it wasn't really a class in Final Fantasy VIII. It was more just a couple of guys used Gunblade in Final Fantasy VIII. Yeah, that's more or less it. There's not really a lot of other options. I'm also, oh dude, yeah, rare slow tank you, exactly. I mean, if I was a healer, it'd probably be like immediate. I could have run it with NPCs, because they have the trust system set up now, or the duty support system set up. But I don't know. It's just weird doing it with them. I want to do it with humans. There we go. I was about to say, I'm just going to go do a fate or something, and then as soon as I do, the queue pops. Oh, come on. Come on, don't dodge the queue. Come on, DPS. This is like the easiest leveling queue roulette you're going to have. Thank you. Typical DPS. Probably too busy doing his own thing. Actually showing the video for the first time. God, I miss ARR launch Titan. It was so fun. It's such a shame that all of his modes are so easy now. Dude, 100% Asher. 100%. I've gotten to the point where when I queue as DPS, I make a point. It's like it's hubris, right? You have to spit in the face of the god. You have to say like, oh, I'm going to now get up and go. But you're like watching it or you're listening. You're expecting the queue to pop. But of course, when you do that, it doesn't. There's no winning. Used to be harder. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, in ARR, Ifrit, this, Garuda, they all were actually legitimately fights that people died on. And especially the hard mode and the extreme, like, they were, oh. Titan Extreme was like a wall people couldn't get by. They couldn't progress past it. The problem was they weren't good at the eye level scaling. So the problem is that the even when you run like Titan Extreme now, and you do it synced, the gear that they sync you to is still like 30 or 40 levels higher than what people actually ran it on when you consider the stats back then, because they've done, you know, stat updates and stuff like that. Like the gear is different now than it used to be. There used to be elemental resistances and all this other stuff. So like even doing it synced to the item level, the difficulty is just not there, which is a shame. It's like people were doing it in like eye level 90 gear, but it syncs you to like eye level 130, 120, something like that. But the thing is, I don't have a problem with it. I reminisce about it. Like there's a part of me that is like, you know, I'm sad, but another part of me is like, I don't want doing this to get in the way of a casual player from experiencing Shadowbringers and Endwalker. So like, I'm okay if this content is like piss easy. Like, I'm okay with it. Honestly, I feel like the Menagerie at the end of Stormblood and Hades in particular are both kind of difficult fights if you are high level synced, so you're just running it for your first time. If you're an uber casual, like you have to imagine like there are people who click on their buttons and they are playing this game only for the story. I feel like those actually might be too hard for those casual. But I feel like they were great when we did. Yeah, the elemental resistances, and I mean they were never really that good, but you had budget on your gear. You know, eye level budget was sometimes elemental resistances, and then like tanks, for example, you had dodge, parry, block, you actually had those stats instead of just tenacity, which tanks don't even really want anymore. They don't want any tenacity. But back then, they were actually stats. And then warrior at launch couldn't tank. It was a tank, but it couldn't. You were required to main tank as a paladin because warrior just the game wasn't balanced around warrior being able to tank. They took too much damage. Their whole shtick was that they took damage like a DPS, but they could heal a lot. But the problem is against a raid boss where they one-shot you, you just died. So like warriors at launch could not main tank until several patches fixed them. And then Heavensward really kicked that off. So that's crazy times. Yeah. Yeah. Now these are the readings one would expect of an icon. This is another issue I have. If you're a new player, you're like, I don't know who these characters, these menacing Imperial guys are. I don't know what they're talking about. I don't really care about any of this. I just want to fight the big monster. The middle part of the ARR storyline is very weird. In hindsight, it all makes a lot of sense. So replaying through it is really good. And if you're coming from 1.0 where you know a lot more about the Empire, it makes some sense. But if you're just a player who's just like, hey, I just want to fight Ifrit and raise a chocobo, this stuff, you're like, I don't know who these people are. The fact that they don't have faces and their names are really weird to new players, very off-putting. I always am surprised when people get past, like if they can get past this part of ARR and then get past the post-ARR storyline, which also has kind of a lull where it's a little weird, they can get through anything because this stuff is the hardest part to get through. Are you sure that is wise, my lord? Your curiosity is untested and unproven. We do not yet know its true capabilities. Then trust in mine, Ritanen. Ritaten? Yeah, it's Ritaten. My curiosity, as you so eloquently put it, would have bested Titan in the blink of an eye. Why, if there be truth to the legends, it could readily subjugate the whole of Eorzea, given but a little while longer. Is that not so? It is. No greater single power has ever been conceived, much less realized. What you say may well be true, but while such devices may win battles, I do not believe they will serve to change the course of this world. Oh, but they will. Have a little faith, my friend. I cannot endorse this course of action. When do we get that class, by the way? Just 2 shields. Just 2 giant arm shields. Ooh. And now she has a 4th. Fascinating. Carry on, Crystal Bearer. Far from you. Far though you have come, your work is far from done. And not remained to mark his past. While the Ascians are nothing if not elusive, it is a little wonder that they should cast advanced teleportation magic like that. But that they could choose to consort with the Empire. What common goal could they possibly share? As you teleport. I feared I might arrive too late, but I see you had the matter well in hand. I've taken measures to ensure that we are not pursued, yet I cannot say how long they will hold. Take your leave while the kobolds are still in disarray. I will follow in them. There is something I must investigate before I depart. I will teleport you to the Aetheryte in Selma's ruin, and we will rendezvous in Camp Bronzeley. Agreed? And I got 3 commendators. Take that, Titan. Easy. You gotta touch the rock to fight the rock. Alright, so it's almost 10 o'clock. I think I will turn this in. What level? Yeah, level 34. So probably level 34, level 35. We'll turn this in and then call it a wrap for tonight. I got through Titan, and I don't want to do the next big event this stream. I want to start it with next stream because kind of a big deal. Super emotional. All right, I am relieved to see you out. But come, let us discuss it next time. The word will already have reached Maelstrom Command. Protocol requires that a representative of our order inform the High Commander of the mission's success. The honor is rightfully yours, Myth. Once again, I must commend you on a job well done. We shall speak again soon. Go to the aft castle. Oh, I want an ultimate weapon so bad. Thank you for coming, Myth. Word of your triumph reached me some while ago, but I am pleased to have it personally confirmed. First Ifrit, and now Titan. Truly, when I think of your achievements, I feel the loss of the warriors of Lightless Kingdom. And there could be no greater compliment than that. You and your order are heroes. The people of Limsa Lominsa are forever in your debt. I shall relay the details of your report to Admiral forthwith. Please send my regards to the Science. Myth, this has been Philia. Ishtola has informed me of your success. You have won a great victory for the people of Eorzea, one that shall not be forgotten. And what is more, both you and Ishtola emerged from Ogamora unscathed, while Tataru and the others seemed as glad of that as they did of Titan's fall. You can look forward to a hero's welcome. We'll be awaiting your return in the Waking Sands. There's much to discuss. Godspeed. And on that note, we will not be prey returning to the Waking Sands. Not yet. All right, 947. Okay, so we are going to call it here. We are almost level 50. Level 34 quest, level 35 yet? Yeah, it's still level 34. So, luckily, next level, once we level up once, we unlock Red Mage. We can't do the Red Mage quests that go into Ishgard, but we can unlock Red Mage. So I'll have a second class that I can play and do DPS queues. But yeah, that is it. We are going to end it here. Thank you for coming and watching. Thank you for bearing with me with the, yes. That, yeah, sad. Is that a crying owl? Is that what it looks like? Or a penguin? Oh, he's a penguin. He's a crying penguin. This is, and this kicks off. Here's the thing, and I was talking about this earlier before you joined, Asher, but this part of the game is so important because it meanders a little bit, and it's just a fun adventure where you're meeting the company adventures, and you're going to Braveflock's Long Stop and you're getting a bottle of wine and you're kind of like, these are fetch quests, and it's just kind of dull and boring. It's hard to get through. But as soon as we go back to the Waking Sands, the second proper part of ARR, in my opinion, begins. And it's just a roller coaster until the end. It's just banger after banger, event after event after event. So very pumped, very excited. We only have 16 levels left, so it's not like it's that much more, but it is. This is what you think it is. So, for those who may be watching this VOD on YouTube, and you don't know what's about to happen, it should be a weird situation, but this content is 10 years old, but still, tune in next time for the first big, emotional beat of the game. So, yeah. with that, thank you again for watching. I hope you and yours are well. I hope you take care of yourself, stay whole, stay healthy, and I will see you next time. Take care.